The rain fell hard on the steel roofs of Outpost 17, a lonely human mining station built on the edge of a dying world. Captain Ryan Holt walked through the dim corridors, the air thick with the smell of rust and cold metal. He was tired, dirty, and sick of war. The Galactic Council had ordered humans to assist in rebuilding this planet, but Ryan knew the truth. It wasn't rebuilding. It was slavery, hidden behind polished words. He stopped at the entrance of a cargo cell. Inside, sitting on the floor, was a young alien girl. She looked fragile, no older than 16 in human years. Her silver skin shimmered faintly under the flickering light. Chains were wrapped around her wrists and ankles, tight enough to leave marks. Her large violet eyes lifted as Ryan entered, filled with quiet fear. Ryan frowned. "Who did this to you?" The guard beside him smirked. "Council orders, Captain. She's one of them. Property of the Empire now." Ryan's jaw tightened. He had seen cruelty before, but this was different. The girl didn't look dangerous. She looked broken. Her voice trembled as she whispered, "Please, take me away with you." Those words hit him like a punch. Ryan wasn't supposed to care. He was a soldier. Orders were orders, but something about her voice, so desperate, so full of hope, cut through the cold metal walls around his heart. "What's your name?" he asked quietly. The girl hesitated. "Lyra," she said. "I was from the city of Halveth, before they burned it." Ryan glanced at the guard, who shrugged. "Rebel colony," the guard said. "She's lucky we didn't throw her into the mines." Ryan stared back at Lyra. Her eyes shimmered like stars reflected on water. There was something hidden there, not just fear, but intelligence. Maybe even defiance. "Remove her chains," Ryan ordered. The guard looked shocked. "Captain, that's against protocol." "I said remove them." The guard hesitated but obeyed. The chains fell with a heavy clang. Lyra rubbed her bruised wrists, staring at Ryan with disbelief. "Why are you helping me?" she asked softly. Ryan didn't answer. Because he didn't know. Something deep inside told him this girl wasn't just another prisoner. Something was wrong with this whole operation. The Galactic Council claimed they were protecting peace, but the more Ryan saw, the more he realized. Humans weren't saviors here. They were conquerors. Suddenly, the lights flickered red. An alarm echoed through the corridor. "Warning! Energy surge detected in Cargo Bay 2. The guard swore and ran off. Ryan stayed. Lyra looked terrified. "They're coming," she whispered. "The collectors." "Collectors?" Ryan asked. She nodded quickly. "They take the ones who resist. They erase minds. Please, you have to hide me." Ryan hesitated for just a moment, then grabbed her hand. "This way," he said. "Stay close." They moved fast through the narrow halls, past the humming engines and broken doors. Sirens wailed louder. Somewhere behind them, heavy footsteps echoed, metal boots on metal floors. "Who are these collectors?" Ryan demanded. "They serve the Council," Lyra said, breathing hard. "They turn the captured into machines, into slaves who never remember who they were." Ryan's heart pounded. He had heard rumors, but no one dared speak of it. Now he was hearing it from someone who had seen it. They reached a dark storage room. Ryan pulled her inside and shut the door. He turned off his flashlight. Only the faint glow from Lyra's skin lit the darkness. For a moment, they stood in silence. The sound of footsteps passed outside. Lyra whispered, "Why are you helping me, human?" Ryan exhaled. "Maybe because I'm tired of pretending we're the good ones." Lyra looked up at him, her eyes full of something he hadn't seen in a long time. Trust. "If they find us," she said, "they'll kill you too." Ryan gave a half smile. "Then let's make sure they don't." Outside, the echo of mechanical voices grew louder. "Search the sector. The girl must not escape." Ryan gripped his blaster and glanced at Lyra. "Whatever happens," he said quietly, "stay behind me." And for the first time in years, Ryan felt alive, not as a soldier, but as a human. The corridors of Outpost 17 were cold and narrow, filled with the sound of alarms and rushing boots. Ryan Holt moved fast, guiding Lyra through the shadows. Every time they turned a corner, her faint glow lit the path like a silver flame. "Keep it dim," he whispered. "They'll see your light." Lyra tried to control it, but the soft shimmer under her skin refused to fade. "I'm sorry," she murmured. "It reacts to fear." Ryan stopped, breathing hard. "Then don't be afraid." Her eyes met his, strange, deep, and full of pain. "That's easy for a soldier to say," she whispered. "You've never been hunted." He didn't answer. He could hear the heavy steps of the collectors echoing somewhere behind. Machines built for obedience, they had no faces, no mercy. They reached an old maintenance tunnel hidden under a pile of scrap. Ryan pulled the panel open and motioned for her to crawl in first. As she moved through, a strange hum filled the air. Ryan froze. The walls around them seemed to vibrate as if the station itself was listening. "What is that sound?" he asked. Lyra hesitated. "They're tracking me through energy fields. They can sense life signatures." But she looked down at her hands. "I can block it for a while." Her silver glow brightened. She closed her eyes and a low pulse spread through the tunnel like ripples on water. The hum stopped. The alarms faded. Ryan stared, speechless. "What did you just do?" "I used my core energy," she said softly. "Every child of Halveth has it. But if I use too much, I burn out." Ryan had seen aliens with strange abilities before, but nothing like this. "Why would the Council enslave your kind?" he asked. Lyra looked away. "Because our energy can heal. Or destroy. They use us to power their ships and weapons. When our bodies die, they take what's left of our cores and keep them alive inside machines." Ryan's stomach turned. "You mean they turn you into batteries?" She nodded. "And when the body breaks, they erase the mind. The collectors handle that part." Ryan clenched his fists. He had followed orders his whole life. But this was no mission for peace. It was horror wrapped in law. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from above. The ceiling panels shook. Ryan aimed his blaster upward. "They found us," Lyra gasped. "No, not yet. Wait." The floor panel ahead burst open. A human soldier dropped down, aiming a rifle. "Captain Holt!" he shouted. "What are you doing with the prisoner?" Ryan recognized him. Sergeant Dax, one of his own men. "Stand down," Ryan ordered. "She's council property," Dax barked. "You're disobeying command." "Command doesn't know the truth," Ryan said. "They're lying to us, Dax. She's not a threat. She's—" Before he could finish, Dax fired. The shot hit the wall near Lyra. Sparks flew. She screamed as a surge of light burst from her body, knocking Dax back into the wall. When the glow faded, the tunnel was silent. Dax lay unconscious but alive. Ryan turned to her. "You could have killed him." Tears glimmered in her eyes. "I didn't mean to. When I'm scared, it happens." Ryan exhaled slowly. He saw not a weapon, but a terrified child with power she didn't understand. "We have to move," he said. They crawled deeper through the tunnel until they reached an air vent that opened into the outer platform. Cold wind swept across the stars. Lyra looked up in awe. "It's beautiful," she whispered. Ryan stared out too. The black void, the distant blue of the planet below, the hundreds of ships gliding like silent predators. "We'll need a ship," he muttered. Lyra pointed. "There, the docking bay." But the moment they stepped onto the platform, a voice echoed through the speakers. "Captain Holt, you are under arrest for treason. Surrender the prisoner." Ryan's blood ran cold. The voice belonged to Commander Vale, the man who trained him. He looked at Lyra. She was trembling. "They'll never stop," she whispered. "They'll destroy you too." Ryan gritted his teeth. "Then we run." He grabbed her hand and together they ran toward the docking bay, alarms screaming all around them. But as they reached the door, something massive landed in their path. A collector, tall as two men, eyes glowing red, its metal claws sparking. Lyra gasped. "It's too late." Ryan raised his blaster. "Not yet." The collector stepped forward, voice metallic and cold. "Surrender the asset. Human resistance will not be tolerated." Ryan's finger hovered over the trigger. He knew one thing for sure now. He wasn't fighting for the council anymore. He was fighting for her. The collector moved forward, its metal steps shaking the floor. Its body was made of black armor, its face a smooth mask with two glowing red eyes. Tubes of blue light pulsed across its chest like veins. In one claw, it held a weapon that hissed with energy. Ryan pushed Lyra behind a crate. "Stay low," he shouted. The machine raised its arm, aiming at him. "Captain Ryan Holt," it said in a calm, robotic voice. "You have violated galactic command. You will be neutralized." "Neutralize this," Ryan muttered, firing his blaster. The bolt hit the collector's shoulder. Sparks flew, but the machine barely flinched. It returned fire. A beam of red energy shot past Ryan, burning a hole through the wall. The heat was so intense that it melted part of his armor. He dove behind cover, breathing hard. Lyra's voice trembled. You can't kill it with your weapon. Its shell is reinforced with neutron steel. Then what can? Ryan asked. She hesitated, then touched her chest. My core energy. But if I use it again, it could kill me. Ryan peeked over the crate. The collector was advancing step by step. He looked back at her. You said it can block energy fields, right? Can you overload them instead? Her eyes widened. Yes, but I've never tried. Then now's the time, he said. Lyra nodded, fear in her eyes but courage in her voice. She closed her eyes and held out her hands. Her silver skin began to glow again, brighter than before, like liquid moonlight. The air hummed. Tiny sparks floated around her, forming a wave of light. The collector turned its head toward her. Unregistered energy surge detected, it said. Containment required. It raised its weapon, but before it could fire, Lyra released the energy. A shockwave burst through the platform. The sound was deafening. The collector was thrown back, crashing into the steel wall. Its chest lights flickered. Smoke rose from its joints. Ryan stood up, stunned. You did it! But Lyra fell to her knees. Her glow faded fast. I can't hold it, she gasped. Ryan ran to her side. Stay with me. Her breathing slowed. If they catch me again, they'll drain what's left of my light. Ryan clenched his jaw. They're not catching you. Not while I'm breathing. He lifted her in his arms and carried her to the nearby maintenance shuttle. The small ship was old and rusty, but still working. He placed her in the passenger seat and slammed the hatch shut. Hang on, he said, gripping the controls. The engines roared to life. The shuttle lifted off just as more collectors entered the bay. Energy blasts followed them, hitting the hull. But Ryan pulled the lever and shot into space. Through the window, the planet below glowed like a dying ember. Outpost 17 shrank into the distance. Lyra's head rested against the seat. Where are we going? Ryan checked the navigation screen. Somewhere they can't find us. But they always find me, she whispered. They can trace my core, no matter where I hide. Ryan frowned, thinking fast. Not if we hide you inside a human signal. Their scanners are tuned to alien energy, not human biosignatures. She looked at him weakly. You'd risk everything for me? Why? Ryan's voice was low but firm. Because the council doesn't get to decide who lives or dies, not anymore. For a few moments, silence filled the cockpit. Stars drifted by like silent witnesses. Then, out of nowhere, an alert flashed red on the console. Incoming transmission, Commander Vale. Ryan's heart sank. He hit the audio switch. Vale's voice came through, sharp and cold. Ryan Holt, you've gone too far. Do you know what you've done? Open my eyes, Ryan replied. Return the alien and surrender, Vale said. Or the council will brand you a traitor. Humanity will turn against you. Ryan glanced at Lyra, then back at the stars. Then I guess I'll stand with what's left of it. Vale's tone darkened. You think you can protect her? You have no idea what she is. That girl isn't just an alien. She's the key to the weapon that could end us all. Ryan froze. What are you talking about? But the signal cut off. Lyra looked up at him, pale and afraid. He's right about one thing, she said softly. There's a reason they hunt me. Inside my core is not just energy. It's a map. A path to something the council fears. Ryan stared at her in shock. A map to what? Her violet eyes shimmered faintly. To the place where the first light of the galaxy was born. Ryan leaned back, speechless. The truth was bigger than he could imagine, and now, every power in the galaxy would be coming for them both. The small shuttle drifted through the dark void, far from any known routes. The stars outside looked peaceful, but inside tension filled the air. Ryan sat in the pilot seat, eyes fixed on the scanner. Every few seconds it beeped softly, tracing faint signals behind them. They're still tracking, he muttered. Lyra sat quietly beside him, her hands glowing faintly again. They'll never stop, she said softly. The council won't rest until they get what's inside me. Ryan turned toward her. You said it's a map. A map to what exactly? Lyra looked down, unsure. The elders of Halveth called it the source of dawn. It's where all life energy came from, before the stars, before the council. It's hidden beyond the Veil Nebula. Only my people knew the path. Ryan frowned. And the council wants it for power? Lyra nodded slowly. If they find it, they can bend the laws of life. They can create endless armies, machines filled with stolen light. My planet refused to help them, so they destroyed us. Ryan clenched his fists. So that's why they call it peacekeeping. Outside, the ship's radar flashed red. Warning, multiple ships approaching. Ryan cursed under his breath. They found us already. Lyra touched the console. Her fingertips shimmered, and the radar flickered. I can hide us for a short time, but it drains me. Do it, Ryan said. She closed her eyes and the shuttle's energy signature vanished. The screen went blank. For a moment, it was as if the ship had disappeared into the void. Ryan exhaled slowly. How did you do that? Lyra smiled weakly. Halveth children were trained to connect with machines. We shared energy with them. It's what made us different and dangerous. Ryan studied her for a moment. She looked fragile, yet there was something unbreakable in her eyes. You shouldn't have to run forever, he said. Maybe we can find the source before they do. Her eyes widened. You'd help me go there? Someone has to, he replied. For the first time, Lyra smiled, just a small, tired smile, but it lit the whole cabin. Before Ryan could say more, the shuttle jolted violently. The lights flickered. What now? He growled, checking the sensors. Lyra gasped. It's not them. It's the Veil. Through the cockpit window, a strange mist appeared, swirling purple and blue clouds, like the universe breathing. Lightning flashed inside it, silent and graceful. Ryan stared in awe. That's the Veil Nebula? Lyra nodded. It hides the path to the source. But no ship can pass through without guidance. Ryan looked at her. And you're the guide. She hesitated. I can sense the way, but the Veil tests everyone who enters. It shows you your worst memories, your fears, your regrets. Ryan smirked bitterly. Then it'll be a long trip. He set the course forward. The shuttle entered the mist. Instantly, the light outside twisted into strange shapes. Stars melted into shadows. The control screens blinked with static. Lyra pressed her palms against the glass, whispering something in her own language. The glow from her skin brightened, forming a faint circle of light around the ship. Suddenly, Ryan heard voices, familiar ones. Ryan Holt, said a deep voice. It was Commander Vale. You failed them all. Ryan's breath caught. He looked out the window and saw something impossible. His old squad floating in the mist, staring at him with hollow eyes. The ones who died years ago in the war. It's not real, he muttered. It's the Veil. But their faces looked too real. The pain. The disappointment. You left us, one of them whispered. You followed orders that killed us. Ryan gripped the controls, fighting the illusion. No. I tried to save you. Lyra reached out, touching his arm. Don't look at them. The Veil feeds on guilt. It wants to break your mind. Ryan closed his eyes and focused on her voice. Slowly, the ghostly figures faded back into mist. The ship stabilized. Ryan exhaled, shaking. That was real enough for me. Lyra looked pale but calm. You faced it. That's the first test. First? Ryan said, eyebrows raised. She nodded. There will be more. Outside, the mist began to thin, revealing a faint golden glow ahead, like a sun trapped inside a storm. That's it, Lyra whispered. The entrance to the source of dawn. Ryan stared in awe. Looks like a miracle. But before they could move closer, alarms blared again. The radar lit up. 3 ships had just appeared behind them. Lyra's face went pale. Collectors. Ryan's grip tightened on the controls. Guess the test's not over yet. As the enemy ships closed in, the glow ahead grew brighter, almost calling to them. And for a brief second, Ryan felt something stir inside him, like the light wasn't just calling her. It was calling him too. The collectors were closing in fast. 3 massive ships shaped like dark wings cut through the mist behind Ryan's shuttle. Their red sensors glowed through the fog like the eyes of hunting beasts. Ryan gritted his teeth. They're faster than us. Lyra's hands trembled over the control panel. They'll fire any second. Then we don't give them the chance, Ryan said. He pushed the thrusters to maximum. The engine screamed, the ship vibrating under the strain. The golden glow ahead grew brighter, pulsing like a heartbeat. Lyra's voice shook. The source is reacting. It knows we're close. Ryan glanced at her. You mean it's alive? In some way. Yes, she whispered. It senses intention. If it believes we come in peace, it will open the gate. But if it feels fear or violence, a sudden explosion shook the ship. The rear thruster warning flashed red. Too late for peace, Ryan growled. Lyra looked desperate. If we fight now, the veil will consume us both. Ryan looked back at her, then at the enemy ships drawing nearer. Then we find another way. He took her hand and guided it over the console. Can you link your energy to the ship again? She hesitated. It will burn my strength. I'll give you mine, Ryan said without thinking. She blinked, confused. Humans don't have energy cores. Maybe not, he said, gripping her hand tighter. But we have something else. Call it will. For a second, they just looked at each other. 2 beings from different worlds bound by the same fire to survive. Then Lyra nodded. All right, let's try. She closed her eyes and reached inside herself. Light flowed from her palms into the console, spreading through the ship like veins of silver fire. Ryan felt the controls grow warm under his hands. The engines roared back to life, but this time they glowed blue-white like starlight. The ship shot forward faster than ever. Behind them, the collectors opened fire. Red beams cut through the mist, but every time they came close, the light around the shuttle bent and shimmered, making them miss. Ryan stared at the glowing energy lines running through the hull. You're doing it! Lyra smiled faintly, sweat on her brow. No, we are. The golden light ahead suddenly expanded into a vortex, a swirling portal of light and shadow. That's the gate, Lyra cried. If we reach it, we'll be safe. Ryan aimed straight for it. Then hold on. The collectors fired one last volley. One of the shots grazed the wing, tearing a hole in the metal. The ship spun wildly. Alarms screamed. Ryan wrestled with the controls. Come on, not now. Lyra reached out again, her glow flaring brighter. I can stabilize it, but I need your focus. Don't think of fear. Think of freedom. Ryan's heart pounded. He forced his mind away from the chaos, the alarms, the fear, the memories of command. He focused on her voice, and then the ship stopped shaking. The vortex opened wider. Golden light swallowed them both. The next instant, everything went silent. When Ryan opened his eyes, they were no longer in space. The ship floated in a vast sea of light, endless waves of energy flowing like water. Crystals drifted around them, glowing with soft hues of blue and green. Lyra stood up, her eyes wide in wonder. We made it. The heart of the veil. Ryan stepped out of the ship with her. The floor beneath them was solid light, warm and soft under his boots. This place, he said quietly. It feels alive. It is, Lyra whispered. Every star, every living thing in the galaxy began from here. Ryan turned slowly, staring at the glowing horizon. So this is what the Council wants to control. They can't, she said softly. No one can control life, but they want to use it to build weapons to rule forever. As she spoke, the light around them shimmered and a figure appeared, tall and radiant, shaped like energy itself. Its voice echoed like 1,000 whispers. Child of Halvath, why have you returned? Lyra fell to her knees. To protect your secret. To stop them from taking your power. The being's form flickered. And the human? Ryan stepped forward, unafraid. I'm here to help her. Whatever this place is, it doesn't belong to tyrants. The light pulsed brighter. Then your hearts are aligned. But your trials are not over. The Council follows your path. And to protect this light, one of you must give up your own. Ryan and Lyra looked at each other in silence. Give up? Ryan repeated. What does that mean? But the being was already fading, its voice echoing through the light. Every dawn needs a sacrifice. Lyra's expression turned pale. It means one of us must stay behind. Forever. Ryan stared at her, his heart sinking. No. There has to be another way. But deep down he could already feel it. This place was sacred, powerful, and real, and it would demand a price. As the golden current swirled around them, Ryan realized their fight wasn't just about freedom anymore. It was about the soul of creation itself. Golden waves moved slowly across the endless sea of light. Ryan stood near the glowing edge, his eyes fixed on the horizon where space and energy blended together. Behind him, Lyra knelt beside the crystal floor, her hands trembling, the words of the radiant being still echoed in their minds. Every dawn needs a sacrifice. Ryan finally broke the silence. We'll find another way, he said. We're not giving anyone up. Lyra shook her head gently. You don't understand. The heart demands balance. For the gateway to remain sealed from the Council, one life must merge with it. If no one stays, it will open again. Ryan clenched his jaw. Then we destroy it. She looked up at him sadly. You can't destroy creation. Before he could answer, the air around them shimmered, dark ripples spreading through the light. From the ripples emerged black ships, sharp and cold, like knives cutting into the beauty of the place. Ryan's eyes widened. The Council found us. The sky cracked with thunder as their ships descended. At the front of the fleet stood a massive vessel, the Dominion, commanded by none other than Commander Vale. A beam of red light struck the ground, and Vale appeared through it, armored in black. His face calm, but his eyes cruel. Ryan Holt, he said coldly. I warned you. You could have stayed loyal. Instead, you've doomed yourself. Ryan raised his blaster. Funny. I thought loyalty meant doing what's right, Vale smirked. Right? You're standing beside a weapon that can end galaxies. That girl's power is chaos. Hand her over and maybe we'll let you die quickly. Lyra stood up, her glow flickering brighter. I'm not your weapon, she said quietly. And I'm not afraid of you. Vale's soldiers stepped forward, their rifles humming. You should be. Before they could fire, the ground beneath them pulsed with light. The heart reacted to the violence. It sent waves of golden energy rippling across the field, knocking the soldiers back. Ryan grabbed Lyra's hand. Run! They sprinted across the shining plain, heading toward the center of the heart, a massive crystal formation rising like a mountain of light. Energy arcs shot around it, humming with power. Behind them, Vale shouted orders. Drones took flight, chasing through the air. Energy beams streaked past, some hitting the crystal ground and exploding into bursts of sparks. Ryan dove behind a glowing ridge, pulling Lyra down beside him. We can't keep running, he said. Lyra looked toward the crystal. The source is alive. It's trying to protect itself. If I connect to it directly, I can close the gate, but I'll become part of it. Ryan shook his head fiercely. No, you're not sacrificing yourself. There's got to be another way. She looked at him with sad eyes. You don't get it, Ryan. I was born for this. That's why they created us, the children of Helveth. We were made from the light of the source. Returning to it is our destiny. Destiny, he said bitterly. You think fate decides who lives and dies? I don't believe that, she smiled faintly. You believe in choice then? Yes. Then let me choose. Before he could stop her, she stood up and began walking toward the crystal mountain. Her glow brightened with every step. The air vibrated around her and the heart responded. Soft waves of gold rippled outward, almost singing. Ryan chased after her. Lyra, don't. You'll vanish. She turned to him one last time. Maybe, but my light will stay. You showed me humans aren't all cruel. You gave me hope again. Now I'll give you peace. Tears stung Ryan's eyes. Lyra, please. But before he could reach her, Vale appeared in front of him, blocking the path. He raised his rifle. Don't bother, Captain. The universe doesn't need heroes. It needs control. Ryan's rage boiled over. He lunged forward, tackling Vale to the ground. The two men fought across the glowing surface, punches, kicks, the sound of armor clashing. Vale's strength was brutal, but Ryan fought with everything left in him. You don't get to decide who lives free. Ryan roared, slamming Vale's helmet to the ground. Vale grinned through blood. Neither do you. He grabbed his weapon and fired. The blast hit Ryan's shoulder, sending him spinning. Ryan fell, pain surging through him. Through blurred vision, he saw Lyra reach the crystal. Her body shone like a star. The entire heart began to tremble, light pouring upward in streams. Vale shouted in panic, "Stop her!" But it was too late. Lyra looked back one final time. "Thank you for seeing me." Then she stepped into the crystal. A blinding explosion of light swept across the realm. The council ships disintegrated. Vale's scream was lost in the brilliance. Everything turned white. When the light faded, only silence remained. The battlefield was gone. The sky was calm. Ryan lay on the ground, alive but alone. The crystal mountain now stood quiet, glowing faintly like a heart at rest. He whispered her name. Lyra. A soft breeze of light moved past him, almost like a touch. In it, he heard her voice, gentle and warm. "You gave me freedom. Now keep it alive." Ryan looked up at the glowing horizon. The veil had closed and the war was over, for now. But something deep inside him had changed forever. For the first time, he didn't feel like a soldier. He felt like a man who had witnessed a miracle. The light faded slowly. When Ryan Holt opened his eyes, everything was quiet. The war, the screams, the thunder of ships, and all gone. Only the soft hum of the heart remained like a sleeping star beneath his feet. He pushed himself up, every muscle aching. The air was warm and golden. The crystal mountain where Lyra had vanished still glowed softly, pulsing once every few seconds like it was breathing. "Lyra," he whispered. His voice echoed faintly, carried away by the light. He took a few shaky steps forward, staring at the crystal. Inside its glowing surface, he thought he saw a faint silhouette, small, graceful still. He reached out, placing his hand on the crystal wall. It was warm, alive. For a moment he felt something, a pulse gentle as a heartbeat. And then a whisper inside his mind. "You kept your promise." Ryan froze. "Lyra?" The voice was soft, distant, like wind through stars. "My body is gone, but my light remains. I'm part of the heart now." Tears welled in his eyes. "You shouldn't have done this. There had to be another way." "There wasn't," she said. "The council's greed would have destroyed everything. The veil needed a guardian, and I was born for that." He shook his head. "You were born to live." There was a long silence. Then her voice again, lighter now, full of peace. "You gave me life, Ryan. You showed me kindness when no one else did. That's enough." Ryan's hand trembled on the crystal. "What am I supposed to do now?" "Live," she whispered. "Carry the truth. Tell them what humanity really means." And with that, the voice faded, leaving behind only the soft hum of the crystal and the warmth against his palm. Ryan stood there for a long time, silent and broken. Then he straightened. "I will," he said quietly. "I swear it." He returned to the shuttle, the same one they had fled in. Half the hull was burned, but it still worked. As he sat in the pilot's seat, he saw the reflection of the golden light outside. It filled the cockpit like a sunrise. When the ship lifted off, the heart pulsed once more, sending a final wave of light across the veil. It wrapped around the shuttle, carrying it through space, back toward the stars. 2 weeks later, the Galactic Council declared the incident a reactor failure. They buried the truth, as they always did. Outpost 17 was listed as lost. No mention of Halveth. No mention of the girl who became light. Ryan returned to human space, not as a hero, but as a ghost. He went to the far edges of the colonies where no one asked questions. He carried no rank, no uniform, only the memory of a voice that once said, "Take me away with you." He fixed ships, helped refugees, told stories to children who had never seen stars without war. When they asked him about the glowing mark on his hand, a faint trace of light where he had touched the heart, he said only, "It's a promise." Sometimes at night, he'd look up at the sky and see a faint golden shimmer near the Veil Nebula. It wasn't a star. It was something else, alive, beautiful, eternal. He'd smile softly and whisper, "Still watching over us, aren't you?" And maybe she was, because in the years that followed, strange things began to happen. The Council's fleet started failing. Machines powered by stolen light began to break down. The stars around the veil burned brighter as if something within was restoring balance. People began to talk about it, a legend spreading through the colonies. They called her the Guardian of Dawn. Ryan never corrected them. He simply listened. Because every time someone said her name, he felt that same warm glow in his chest, the same one that once saved him in the dark. Years later, an old man sat by a campfire on a desert moon, surrounded by children. His beard was gray, his uniform long gone. In his hands he held a small crystal that shimmered faintly with silver light. "Tell us again, Captain," one of the kids begged. "The story of the alien girl." He smiled, eyes soft. "Her name was Lyra," he said. "She wasn't a monster or a weapon. She was light, pure and kind. And she taught me something that no war ever could." The children leaned in closer. "What did she teach you?" Ryan looked up at the night sky where a golden shimmer danced among the stars. "That humanity isn't about strength," he said. "It's about mercy, about seeing someone else's pain, and choosing to care." The fire crackled softly. Above them, a faint light flickered in the sky, like a heartbeat. Ryan smiled faintly. "Good night, Lyra," the wind whispered back through the quiet desert. "Good night, human."